Alton Brown cooked his way into Scooby-Doo's life with a not so bad episode. So, Allie, what did you think of the Alton Brown episode?
All right. There was some flaws,
Yes.
but there was also a lot of positives.
Yes.
Right off the bat, it felt like a classic episode. Just the scenery itself.
Yeah.
Where it's taking place, it felt like the classic Scooby-Doo. Took me back to my childhood right there.
The atmosphere definitely felt Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
It was a Scooby-Doo vibe.
And I haven't felt like that with some of them.
A lot of them are theaters. Like
Yeah.
most of the places they go into are like ballrooms or theaters. Like they're open, like production places. They're not really like old buildings and
Yeah, so like
castles.
I liked that about that. The atmosphere, they did it right. Let's talk about the monster.
The monster
Now,
was sort of the biggest issue here.
see,
I,
it wasn't.
so the two things about the monster, one good, one bad. One of the good things I have to say about the monster, it made me think of the What's New Scooby-Doo monsters. Because the What's New Scooby-Doo monsters did do some bizarre looking creatures that a lot of times were pieces and parts from whatever location they were at.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem here, this one was a pineapple head. It looked a little goofy. Now, it's not entirely a bad thing, but what made it a bad thing is the backstory behind the creatures.
Backstory. But let's get into the backstory real quick. Really? That's what the writers came up with?
They copied Frankenstein, but with food.
Which, I'm somewhat okay with that.
Somewhat.
Because it is Scooby, and Scooby and Shag are known for eating all the time. So the whole food thing, and because the celebrity is a chef,
yeah,
it made sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I can forgive this.
Yes.
If it was a normal episode and it didn't star a celebrity chef, I'd have a lot of problems with the episode. But the celebrity, though. Yeah. I think the celebrity is the only thing that made it work.
Yeah, if you take him out of the picture, it doesn't work. Which, a lot of times, is a good thing when it comes to these, because you need those connections. But,
yeah,
if you didn't know who he was,
you would be very confused.
Yeah,
you would
other than
be like,
the 2 second Shaggy's like, it's a chef.
The only clue you get. And that, he, was cooking and making them a meal, but, any house guest could do that. Not house guest, I mean, host. Host. Let's rewind back to, what was it, season 2?
Yes, last season.
The time travel episode.
Yes, with Malcolm McDowell.
Why was this just why was this the same thing?
Yeah, it was it was a cut and paste. And
I'm okay with that in some ways, because if you're not watching the seasons like we have been from the very start, and you just, because Scooby-Doo episodes are meant to be you don't have to watch
they're random.
them in order. Yeah, you can watch them however you want. It's just, I don't know, I didn't like that too much.
His motive for being the monster was so Scooby and the gang could go off and talk about this monster.
It's a big publicity stunt.
A publicity stunt, which was the same thing with Malcolm McDowell.
I didn't think it was that good of a motive, honestly.
They could have done so many different things, but this is what they chose, and it was kind of a cut and paste. It felt a little half-assed because of that. But it doesn't take away from the good aspects of the episode. And honestly, having the celebrity at a house that was an ancestors and all makes sense for very much the classic What's New Scooby-Doo episodes.
Yeah, like that made sense to me.
But then you just scratched it
So
all.
yeah, and the reveal of everything. It's like, oh, this isn't my ancestor. I made that whole story up, and it's like,
And like
why?
Velma's like, clearly the paint was wet. Like, okay, but there was no clues for us, the viewer, for that.
Yeah, like how
Like,
would we know that it
you
was
should have had
wet?
like some paint dripping or something that we could have, like, our eye caught if you were paying close attention. Because that
That's one of my biggest problems so far this season has been that Velma's like, this is why, and like we don't even get any explanation. It's just so like she pulls it out of her ass. Like, where the fuck you get that? Like other Scooby-Doo episodes, you can always tell by the clues who the villain is.
Yeah.
Now, the celebrity being the villain
Yeah.
was very obvious.
Yeah. Because there was no one else.
There was no one else, yeah. And then like you got this random German family in the basement. Like what?
And the producers locked in the closet for a couple days.
Literally. Like what?
You could have
But
at least
it,
played with the producer to make it a red herring and made us think it was the producer.
yeah, I was surprised that they didn't have a red herring
But they,
because they usually do.
yeah, but they didn't in this episode. So,
No,
what would you rate it?
I'd probably give it at least as 5.5, 6. Like it was. I think that it could have been a lot better if there was certain aspects of the story that they tweaked.
Yeah,
And maybe making the monster not a pineapple.
yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 6, like you. It is above average because it does have so many good aspects, but
It does have connections.
there are a lot of things that do bring this episode down. Um, but we want to know what your thoughts of the episode were in the comments below. Come hang out with us in our Discord or over on Twitch. We stream Tuesday through Saturday. Link to both of those are in the description below. And like always, we will see you in the next one. Later.